Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Aziz Madyub. I'm a senior in high school and I'll actually be presenting to you about the build model, which is how to turn your next big idea into a realistic project. So what you'll learn through this session, through this webinar, are three main components. First is like to learn what the build model is about. Two, what does the different words in the build model stand for? And three, what are the steps under each component of the build model and how those steps will help you actually make your business or your next project, your next idea a realistic project. So a little bit about myself. I'm currently a senior student, lives in a boarding school in South Africa. I'm originally from Tunisia. Um, and I'm very keen on working on educational projects. So basically anything that relates to improving the quality of education for students in country or in other countries that I can go to. And basically the idea is even if the curriculum is rigid and you cannot change it, you can give space to these students to engage in the alternative ways of learning outside of the classroom environment. And that's like what I envision to do, what I want to help my peers achieve in different contexts. So how build model came into play in my life. So I'm very thankful for who designed this and who I started this at, which is the African Leadership Academy. And this school is basically about entrepreneurship and designed this model to help young entrepreneurs um, know exactly what is required from them in the thinking process to actually go from an idea that just comes to someone's mind all with something that's realistic and tangible and how to improve that and build on that further. So without further ado, let's get started. Mm, Yeah, next slide. So what the build model stands for? Build model stands for five key components, which is our believe, understand, invent, listen, and deliver. And what does this mean is basically um, they're the components that actually you have to go through step by step in order to deliver your final business and to make your idea from this like just like glimpse all the way to something again the same word realistic and tangible. So belief is a stage. It consists of you thinking about you have the effort, you have the will, and you have the power in yourself to actually make this project come true. It's basically being thankful for the opportunities you have and the opportunities for growth that you can take through this project, and actually to just to prepare your mindset for the work that's awaiting you ahead. Two would be to understand, and what the understanding phase is basically to learn how to design solutions to seek um, to help the affected individuals most. And how you do that is basically by doing a lot of research, a lot of interviews, accumulating a lot of knowledge, so that the problem you identify is accurate and has like a statement that you use for the people actually to identify a specific problem for a specific group of people. Thirdly, it's invent. And basically what invent is basically brainstorming different kinds of solutions according to the problem you identified. So you'll sit down, you write few solutions, and you'll narrow it down until you find the one that you think you have the skills, you have the capability, and also think it's beneficial for the needs you're trying to target. Fourth, it's about listening. So it's basically delivering the solution you narrowed down for two, and actually seeing what the people, the customer, the main clients have to say about the solution you're offering. Do they have concerns? Do you want to make improvement? What kind of sort of thing they are looking for in your product that actually can solve the solution in better ways than what you thought initially? Lastly, delivering, which is after incorporating the feedback, you actually put your product forward in the market, and again you listen again and you reinvent again and do the delivery. So what's good about the build process is that it has cyclic form, so it doesn't, you don't stop, but actually you evolve on the ideas you have and you evolve on the steps you've already taken. So let's dive in the first first situation, which is belief. Belief. Here there is a study on a person named Grace. She's from Uganda, and this person started a chicken selling business to support her siblings after losing her parents at the age of 12. The interesting part of this is that all her work, actually, she learned from supporting her family, supporting herself, sort of education, led to what you will read here in second slide, to her actually having a fishing enterprise called Supply, actually selling smoking fish in the whole country. Being the CEO of this company, being the person who's show. This is like how you can believe that any initial idea, small idea that might came in terms of need or might have came in circumstances that are not necessarily uncomfortable, could actually evolve to something that makes you very comfortable, makes you something that you're passionate about and very interested in. There's many examples, but this is one of the endings of it. If you want to read more, you can just pause the video and read through what the evolved, like how this woman evolved from simply selling chicken in her community to actually running Ghana Supplies, which is one of the biggest smoking companies in Uganda today. So very interesting, and it touches on the idea of believing. It's like believing in yourself, believing that you have potential, believing that starting small, starting big, actually lead eventually to something very, very, very great. So next slide. Um, this is also some questions you consider. This is Miss Grace, by the way. So what you consider is what kind of business she run, what were her steps she had to take, what challenges did she face, what challenges did she overcome, what are the problems, why there is a need for the in itself. These are the ideas to have you think about the potential of entrepreneurship. Can it be a human-centered entrepreneurship that heals problems instead of entrepreneurship that creates more problems by impacting the environment badly, by affecting, displacing lives of people. So all these questions could help you think about this belief phase and believing that you could do solutions that are impactful for the communities that needs them the most. So, secondly, the ending phase, and this is what I like to call like phase one, the bug list. And what happens is you just sit with your friends or by yourself and say, I've got 20 to 30 problems that annoy me most in my community, in my home, in my school, that I think are big problems that should be tackled in some way and form. Go and brainstorm as many problems as you can think of. You can brainstorm as many problems as you think of, and go on that in the next phase. These problems are very important because they're going to give you an idea of what to focus on throughout your build process. So now, to identify better the problem, what you'll have is to narrow down to few and start asking, running questionnaires, running interviews, running observations with people to actually like the core of the problem. What this means is, I say that the problem is there's not enough health care facilities in this country. Maybe it's not necessary that the lack of the facilities might be a symptom of the actual problem, and you have to trace back like the thread all the way back to see what's actually the root cause of the problem. And that happens through questionnaires, use observations, people say these connections all together to make sure that you have a decent idea of how that problem actually looks like and what's the actual reasoning behind its existence, without having assumptions of your own that might not necessarily benefit the people who needs the solution for the problem. So, and phase three will be the problem mapping phase. And what that looks like is basically you do a thread and you go from a parent issue, I said the example of the hospital, you go to yourself, why this is happening. You go to the problem one. Let's say it is not healthcare facilities because there is not enough money. Why there is not enough money? You go to layer number two. Maybe the finance department is not allocating enough budget to healthcare. Then you go to layer number four. Why it's not allocating health budget? Because there is more military spending. Countries purchasing military spending instead of healthcare, and that's another problem. And then you go in that cycle all the way to the root cause why money. Might be the government doesn't have enough financial literacy to actually run these politics. So you might then your problem be lack of financial literacy in X community, and I want to offer a solution to that. So or might corruption. So there is apparent rise of corruption in X community. I think we can heal that by for these number of people, and I think we need to heal that through certain process. And this is basically your statement of saying what the problem is, what are affected by the problem, and potentially what will happen, what will solution make. So to conclude, is basically after you narrow down and say again, we narrow down on corruption. What would I say is the root problem of the lack of health facilities is the like spread of corruption in X country for the benefit of people who are sick and who are like far from these health facilities. I believe that tackling the issue of corruption might actually assist of X country great in receiving the necessary healthcare thing. Basically, the sentence is just all saying that this is a good cause, this is what I'm trying to do, these are the people that I'm trying to do it. This is why I think if this problem is tackled, will be actual like outcome. If I tackle the corruption, less people will die because they find enough health facilities. If I tackle financial literacy, government will know how to manage money, and then might be in less debt, etc., etc. So it's these ideas that I help you identify the problem, identify the people who need the solution, and the people who are affected by the problem, and finally identify the impact and potential outcome if you provide the solution to that problem. So now we go to invent, which is this one, and brainstorming is very important. So all you're focusing on early on is only the problem. You try to, as much as possible, not potential solutions, but only the problem, its root cause, and how can you heal it. After that, you start brainstorming solutions. This is where you focus on solution. So you're gonna grab a lot of sticky notes. I have actually a bunch of them here, and what you're gonna do is write from anywhere from 80 to 100 solutions. With these 100 solutions, you probably will have only 10 great ones. But the 100 solution exercise will help you put everything that you might ever thought of into pen and paper, and also will help you to defer judgment, to go for volume, to be like visual in your presentation, to build on the ideas of others. If let's say brainstorming in it, and to make sure that the conversation is going well and listening to the ideas that the team trying to start this project with are actually sharing. And then lastly, it's like help you encourage wild ideas, because by the 50th problem you're gonna start feel that they're less realistic, but actually sometimes the more ambitious ideas are the best ones for achieving the goal trying to achieve. And sometimes maybe the most simplistic ones are also the greatest ones you have. So it's actually about all what this exercise is about not judging any idea, actually write as many as possible in the time span you have. Two. So now this is phase and narrowing down your ideas to one solution. How can you narrow it down? It's actually asking a bunch of questions, which I have here on the slides. But few I can suggest are to think about who are your target customers that will benefit from the idea. Are they the same ones that you identified under your problem statement? Also, how this is actually tackling the problem that you stated earlier on. Is the solution the most efficient way to do it? Is this solution feasible by the resources you have right now, like your teammates and yourself. Do you have enough skills to implement the solutions? Because you cannot just say I'm gonna start a website, but no one in your school or in your team knows how to program a website or how to develop a website. You can say I'm gonna start building science projects if no one has a scientific background team. So it's basically narrowing it down to solutions that are the most feasible. And how you can do this is basically you can draw a simple diagram, which I'll show right now on the sticky note. Basically, on the y-axis, you're gonna say feasibility, and on the x-axis, you're gonna say so y-axis feasibility, uh, and x-axis is going to say your reach or impact. So ideally, this is how it will look like. See, you can draw a diagram. So this is feasibility, and then all the way here is impact. And ideally, you draw this on a big paper, and what you'll say is, so what are the solutions that I have that are most feasible, but also have the highest impact? So what that means is usually your solution has to be in this top corner here. So feasibility very high, feasibility, and then impact is very high. Any solutions around here might be not the best or something in the middle range. So have like also to challenge you doesn't it can't be like very very feasible that it doesn't challenge anyone in the team. Ideally, you can have it in there, which is its feasibility is complicated slightly, but it's not too complicated, which is similar like down here. It's in the middle, and then reach is toward the maximum. You need to make sure that you're getting as many people as possible with your solutions and making sure that you impacting people in the best way possible with you're offering them as a product. So third phase. By now, you should have narrowed down all 100 solutions to one solution or two solutions that you're going to combine together, ideally. So use the scoring methods and the y and x axis about feasibility and reach. Use the method of asking these questions to remove certain ideas that might be too unfeasible or too out of reach of the team at the moment. Then lastly, you sit down with your teammates and then start working on what you call the business canvas, which is basically trying to make everything that's surrounding the main idea you have to offer. If my main idea is to make a website, I need to think about many aspects of implementing that website. And how this happens is through the BMC. Basically, put your idea or your offering of the product in the middle. You say statement, so your solution is to create a website for financial literacy for people from X country to actually be able to manage better their finances, to actually have more money going into public institutions to provide health facilities, to provide more sophisticated health facilities. And this could be your offering. This is what you're offering. You're offering different aspects to it, and you need to make sure that you go highlight all these aspects. So first aspect of this is to understanding the client and customers. What you'll say here is you'll have a box and focusing about who are my clients, for their age group, how much they spend time on my platform, what appeals to them most. And trying to identify and create this persona of your client so that you can actually focus and direct your product directly target this person right there, direct to this because they're going to be the biggest consumer. They're the ones, if this product reaches them, will have the greatest impact, like socially, for whatever you're trying to offer. Something next to consider is the key activities. So you're running a website, but what are the key activities? What do the website will do? So what are the key courses you'll offer? What are the key aspects? Are you going to make people do challenges? Those are activities that happen on your platform, happen on your solution that you need to highlight and say, these are all the activities that people could be involved in if they try my product. This is how they're going to look like. And when we do this, basically very helpful for you to make sure that you keep track of what things your project has to include. 5 would be to think about resources. And what happens here is basically, does your project need to be finances, allows finance to be operated? Like thinking in terms of, do I need costs? Do I need servers? Do I need facilities? Do I need people to help me code this website? Or do I need people to help me run this project, right? So it's thinking about what skills you have already in the team, what skills you don't have already in the team, what kind of resources you need to actually make your solution like come into place. And then six, you'll think about your partners. So who are your partners? Can I partner up with government institutions? Can I partner up with high schools? Can I partner up with individuals in the community, businesses? Can I partner up with people who are very, very like famous within the field I'm trying to tackle, such as financial literacy, as the example we stated before. And then identifying all these partners and identifying how you can actually help them is actually really, really crucial for you to make sure that not only your activities are key, but also your motivation, like motivation of your partners align with your activities in the sense that you cannot partner up with a company that's has a business that its principles are different from what you're trying to achieve. So identifying partners is not necessarily only people who can help, also people who can help and can align themselves with your own mission. So it's very, very important to highlight this point. Lastly would be cost and revenue. And this is about thinking about, okay, how much will it cost to run this project? Will it cost like X amount of dollars? How much can I invest from my own money? How much can I fundraise? And what are the revenue streams? How many ads can I run on the website, for example, to actually get revenue? How many people will pay subscriptions for the website for the service I'm offering? How many people will be able to contribute in different ways? Let's say speak to certain people who might give us the funding for the website. Think about cost structure, because any social venture you want to go on need to be self-sustained or sustainable, as in it doesn't rely only on fundraising, but also relies on another revenue stream that actually help cover your initial costs. So in this phase, you're also going to say my costs are, my revenue streams are, and hopefully if the numbers outline line up, my revenue streams will cover my costs and it will actually help me like earn money if that's your goal, or also help you like get at least not run a non-profit, as in all the revenue will go back into cost and investing in more projects, as long as you can get that money not only from the people outside but from your own organizational activities. So this links again back to number 4, which is what kind of activities people can engage in. So what kind of activities that will generate revenue stream for you, the people will engage in, and that will help you make more impactful projects on the longer run. Lastly, you'll think about your impact. So when do you say that your project was successful? How can you actually say your project changed the community? How can you measure that? And it's very important to think about this to make like specific how to say like specific milestones of your projects, to actually think, if I reach this milestone, that means my project is successful. So if I reach this milestone in X amount of time and for Y people, then means that I'm actually going on the right track. But if you set a milestone that's too high or too low, you might not actually measure it truly. So make sure that your milestone that's set is realistic, but at the same time it's a bit like it was a challenge, and track the progress of your projects all the way throughout and impact like success at every step of the way. So now this is also another slide that you can use. So basically it has everything I explained earlier on about how can you use your business model canvas. So you can take a screenshot. You're welcome to do that. Now, delivery phase. This is testing your, basically, this is about listening and testing your product and delivering it. How that looks like is very, very simple. Listening, it actually consists of you following the feedback of the people who actually test the product, which means is I'll offer them to be part of my service, And what will happen is I'll note down their experiences, their concerns, etc., and all those I integrate back in the event phase. So I go back to the let's say the value proposition, the activities, and change those to make actually my product more sophisticated, more able to respond to the need of the community. So that's one thing. Second thing is you deliver back and you keep this cycle of like you deliver, you listen to feedback, and you keep going. So your delivery, it's a crucial part to actually start like and run the project itself. But the most crucial part is to actually listen and invent all time long where your product is on the market. Because if you don't do that, you'll be unable to progress or to take your project from the initial phase or initial form you thought about to like a higher degree. So that's the build model, everyone. It's very, very like simplistic way to approach like a theoretical idea and make it tangible one. But what I'm trying to do here is actually help most people who are not sure how to make that project real to take the initial steps, and they can actually Google this model outside on the internet and actually get the more sophisticated and more detailed parts grounded so that they can take their project to the next level. Thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this webinar.